what that means. I hope you lied to your parents about a friend's house you're staying at, because we're staying up all night. And we've got a jam-packed show for you with some of the biggest stars in wrestling, so let's get this party started. The first match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, he comes to us by way of Wine Country, weighing in at 7 1/3 keg and standing 6.21 bottles tall. He's the Drunken Master, Gas Tantalus! And his opponent. From parts unknown, he stands 6'3" tall and weighs in at 100. Is the mysterious wonder, Artorias! Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Farmer here on the call for our opening match. It is Santino Brothers Tuesday up all night, and we've got ourselves a clash of the heavyweights to kick things off. Gaius Tantalos barely made it to the ring, it looks like. Apparently he has made sure he is plenty hydrated before his match with Artorias, a man who, familiar to those of us here at Santino Brothers, has been competing week in and week out, putting up quite a record. As Scarlett checks in the fighters. Here at Santino Brothers, you just never know what these guys are going to bring into the ring, so she knows what she's doing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are off to the races. And I gotta say, I look at Drunken Master. He seems rather excited to be in the ring. I don't know if he's done his research just yet on just who Artorias is. He might be taking this a little bit more seriously. Speaking of taking things seriously, it seems like Artorias isn't taking the Drunken Master very seriously, as he's administering a sobriety test. And the big man, I'm not sure if he passed the test or if he failed, but I think he might have just gotten on the wrong side of the big man as Artorias goes in. Still a feeling out process between the two, and they finally lock horns, these two bulls, and Guy is showing that whether or not you're a little more hydrated than you need to be when you're that big, you have the power to throw back even the biggest of opponents, as Artorias finds himself back in the corner. A little bit more serious looking than he was when we started things off. Maybe realizing that the Drunken Master is stronger than he expected. Artorias behind Gaius, locks the arms. And the big man hitting the keg bounce, knocking down Artorias with the giant midsection. As Artorias has to be asking himself, what do I do now when the strength advantage is no longer his? We got a rear waist lock by Gaius, and now Gaius is the one toying around, and Artorias seems a little flummoxed.
Can't drink with the mask.
And now we have a little bit of showboating by the tugboat drunken master. And if he wasn't under the skin of the mysterious Artorias, he is now. But Artorias going to those lethal feet. He's taken out many guys with those thunderous knife-edge chop and kicks and punches off the ropes. Running headlong into the tree trunk. As the giant keg takes down Artorias. Right now, Artorias, if he's not careful, he may find himself in a dangerous spot. As the drunken master, Gaius Tunnel, is falling down onto that leg, and right now, Artorias is lucky that he didn't land on him and go for a pinfall here with the weight there, but it looks like maybe that fall did some damage to the leg there of Artorias as he clutches at that thigh. And this could cause problems for the mysterious one as he goes down, and of course Artorias uses those kicks to his advantage, but with his legs taken out, goes headlong back into the mat as the drunken master with the steamroller over the top, flattening out Artorias. Artorias still grabbing at that leg, and he might have some serious damage as Gaius Tunnel wrenching on that leg, and this might be enough to get Artorias to tap, and I don't think any of us predicted that we would see the technical know-how that we're seeing displayed by Gaius right now as Gaius sees his prey in the corner, and we get a giant slam, throwing that giant keg of a posterior right into the face of Artorias. And Artorias, he seems out of it. Gaius is the one drinking, but it looks like Artorias is the one who's a little wobbly. Artorias kicking that middle rope and driving it right into the throat of Gaius, and it may have done more damage than good. But Artorias grabbing the hair, grabbing the beard, finding a way to equalize things, but one good hair yank deserves another. Artorias going eye for an eye here, driving those thumbs into the eyes of Gaius here. As Gaius seems to say, bring it on, as he pulls his own beard now. And the Santino brothers family cheering along for the drunken master as Artorias driving those forearms into the back of the big man, using that leg to choke Gaius on the top rope, and Artorias again maybe doing more harm to himself than good. Again, that fall from earlier in the match coming across the leg of Artorias really starting to cause problems. And anyone who's watched Artorias knows that he loves to use those pump kicks, loves to use those legs, but those seem to be neutralized as Irish whip into the ropes, goes up onto the back, and this is the setup. Now we've seen Gaius win with those moves before, and as Artorias studying the tape from last week, going for that choke, squeezing the throat. And when you're that big, you need a lot of oxygen. And with the strong arms of Artorias wrapped around the throat, he's not getting that. But again, using that same weight to his advantage, driving Artorias into the turnbuckle. And if it's not the leg, it's the back right now. Is Artorias going after that bottle that has to be filled with grape juice of some kind, maybe fermented grape juice. And Scarlett taking away the bottle. the spinach of the big man, if you could say. As we have the Drunken Master Gaius going punch for punch, elbows and punches and chops and just swinging away punches and bunches, as my colleague Jack would say. But now it goes for that big throw into the turnbuckle, off the ropes. Gaius has him up again with some sort of bear hug on the shoulder into the turnbuckle once again, and Artorias is just getting run ragged here by Gaius Toneless.
Watch the hair now, watch the hair.
And Artorias finds himself in the middle of the rope as the big man coming again, throwing his weight around, and this time landing again on Artorias, and that could have been it, but Artorias has been down before and he is not out.
Guys, you got it right where you want him. Let's go, guys. Do that a little more and you'll win, I think.
The Santino brothers family cheering along Gaius Toneless, a man who has gained their love rather quickly here at Santino brothers as Artorias goes up to the top rope, and this could spell disaster for the mysterious man as he goes up onto the shoulders, and this is not a good place to be. But Artorias to the eyes, rolls through, hooks the leg. Could this be it? And it is! He found a way to beat the big man. And your winner, Artorias! Two big men going at it, but it isn't a big move that does it all in. It's the wherewithal and the brains of Artorias getting the roll up, getting the pin here in a highly contested contest. And he didn't get the win tonight, but I gotta think Gaius Toneless will be back. Ladies and gentlemen, I am standing here with the winner this evening, Artorias. Now, Artorias, you have been in this ring every single week, and you're not only competing once tonight, you're competing twice. But I gotta ask, I saw Gaius fall on that leg. It seems like it was causing some issues for you. Are you gonna be able to compete again later tonight?
You know, somebody who sits behind a desk in a cheap suit, who's never been inside this ring and doesn't know what it takes to try to beat down a gigantic, drunken, smelly monster like Drunken Master. And yet I did it. And tonight, during my second match, I'm gonna do the exact same thing.
There you have it, folks. Strong words from a strong man. Artorias competed once with a big win against a big opponent. But can he do it yet again later tonight? Now, folks, that was match one, but we continue. We say up all night. We mean up all night. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready to keep this party going, let me hear you make some noise. And ladies and gentlemen, let's say those magic words. The following match is scheduled for one fall. Coming in from Los Angeles, California, he weighs in at 165 pounds and stands 5'10" tall. He's the man they call Jay Britt.
Take a look at what greatness looks like.
And his opponent. Coming to us all the way from San Francisco, California. Standing at 5'4" tall, weighing 160 pounds. He's the Pinoy Prince, Manny Mars. We have Manny Mars here questioning who took his gear. Now, usually Manny comes to the ring dressed to impress, but here it looks like he's dressed for a street fight, as he seems to be implying that Jay Rich may have had something to do with it. Jay Rich already talking trash. If he can back it up in the ring, he certainly can back it up with his words. Jay Rich, rapid fire words, but it's Manny Mars the people of Santino brothers seem to be standing behind. Jay Rich goes for the quick win. He's not paid by the hour, and this is a man that talks about being paid.
You can't dance! You can't dance! You can't dance! You can't dance! You can't dance!
The Santino brothers faithful here all seem to think this is a dancing competition as they give their judgment about Jay Rich. Now they do have a point as he finds himself face first. Manny Mars going for that ankle lock, and he knows that maybe Jay Rich does have something to do with his missing gear.
Go Manny! Go Manny!
The flashy gear or not, the flashy moves of Manny still taking over as he dances to the cheers of the people. Jay Rich kick to the gut with a club to the back as Manny Mars goes down to all four, and Jay Rich, again, not paid by the hour, going for some punches and kicks, brawling. Manny seems dressed for a street fight, and Jay Rich wants to give it to him, but Manny bringing that wrestling acumen, the Prince going to the air with a drop kick to the face. Manny may not be the tallest guy in the ring, but he will jump up and get there with that drop kick against whoever he seems to be in the ring with, and now Jay Rich suddenly not talking quite as much as he was, stepping back a little bit as he takes a cheap shot behind the referee's back, and it's unfortunate Victor didn't see that, but Manny Mars not giving up, not slowing down as he goes with some dirty boxing there in the clinch. The roll through as Jay Rich throws down Manny and gets him in the corner. Jay Rich going for a giant flying forearm into the corner. And then he goes for the pin, but not enough to put away. Manny Mars there. Maybe Jay Rich is John with the fans just a little too much here as he gives Manny just a little bit of time to come back. Jay Rich grabbing onto the ref again with the cheap shot behind Victor's back. But it's enough to go for a roll-up. Could this be it? Not quite. It's just a 1 count. Manny's still fired up about the missing gear. And jeez, Jay Rich going to the high rent district, jumping clear up in the air, almost touching the ceiling with that drop kick.
That's what the women really want to see.
Jay Rich taking off the shirt, saying it's what the women want, thinking this might be Thunder from Down Under, hoping to get Rich with the striptease. Doesn't work that time, but he comes down and gets back to work, raining right hands down onto Manny Mars. And now John again with the referee. And I don't like this coming from Jay Rich. Now this is he could have had a win possibly if he just focused a little bit more, but Manny Mars goes for a big fisherman suplex. And Jay Rich, for all his talk, does have the fight to keep going with a giant clothesline that nearly takes the head off of Manny Mars as he goes for that cover. But Manny Mars still frustrated about the missing gear, still mad, still wanting a little bit more of Jay Rich, but Jay Rich not done here, driving those feet into the face, into the chest, and as a commentator once said in the past, stomping a mud hole into Manny Mars. And again, Jay Rich finds himself distracted by the people at ringside, and this could be Manny's chance to get back into things as he goes for those ribs. And anyone who's been punching the ribs knows that that pays dividends. And driving a giant elbow into the face of Jay Rich. Jay Rich is staggered. Jay Rich is in the corner. And this could be Manny's chance as he Irish whips him into the turnbuckle. Manny goes flying across the ring. Flying elbow of his own. Grabs onto the head, jumps. Goes for a bulldog, but no, Jay Rich saw it coming and throws the Prince Pinoy across the ring, making him land hard. And now it looks like Jay Rich picks him up as he spins and spins and spins, and Blue Thunder bomb down with the pin. Not quite enough there. Manny, I think, surprising Jay Rich with his fight, with his determination, not giving up. I wonder if Jay Rich is now questioning whether or not he should have stolen that gear. Maybe he should have gone for someone else's.
Look at your people right there.
As he mugs the people of Santino Brothers, Jay Rich slapping the face of Manny. And Manny, not one for slaps, goes for an elbow, and they trade blows back and forth. Elbow to elbow. And Jay Rich is staggered, and now Manny firing up, whips him across the ring, off the ropes, a drop kick of his own, but Jay Rich stays standing for a moment before falling to his knees, collapsing down. That's Jay Rich using the ropes to choke out Manny. Jay Rich using every advantage he can take.
He has no answer for me.
Taunting Manny, takes the clothes, then taunts him, whipping him across the ring here, but this time, no, Manny reverses, big clothesline, now decapitating Jay Rich. Jay Rich gets back up, and once again, can he make it three? Ducks the clothesline himself, gets behind him, goes for the Russian leg sweep, brings him down. Jay Rich in trouble now as he goes for the Manila Sunrise. It's the Manila Sunrise, and Jay Rich is nowhere near the ropes. Manny's put away many men with this move as he clenches in the Manila Sunrise. Jay Rich, is this it? No, he gets to the ropes, and right now Jay Rich has to be thanking his lucky stars. He was able to get to that bottom rope, as now he is slow to get to his feet. Now Jay Rich clutching onto that bottom rope, not wanting to get back to the middle of the ring, knowing how dangerous it could be with Manny, knowing he has the Manila Sunrise in his arsenal and can come at any time, but Jay Rich throwing elbows, fighting free, and what used to be cocky is now desperation as Jay Rich looks to go for a suplex, but Manny says no. Manny denies him with a kick to the gut and a stunner! 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 How many men have been put away with this move in the past on the biggest stages? But Jay Rich finds a way to roll to the outside. Is this going to be it? And Jay Rich finds a way to get that shoulder up, to kick those feet up, and I have to believe after the stunner, that was nothing but muscle memory coming through.
It's for my jacket.
As
This is my jewelry.
Manny calls out for the jacket, for the jewelry, for the drugs, for everything.
My crown.
And for the crown, a 5-finger slap to the face of Jay Rich as Jay Rich crawls to his feet and eats another elbow. And Jay Rich is on Dream Street, going head first into the turnbuckle. And they go to the next turnbuckle. Manny taking him on the tour around the world like Magellan. The Pinoy Prince takes him to all four corners. And that's when Jay Rich says no, he is done as he goes to the middle rope. And now he is in a dangerous spot. Jay Rich perched atop the turnbuckles. Manny runs, but Jay Rich leaps over, and now it's Manny on top with a cross body block. He hooks the leg. As Jay Rich finds a way to escape that middle turnbuckle crossbody block. And now Manny seems to be in his bag as he's ready to go as he gets a rear waist lock. But Jay Rich using that wrestling know-how, locking the arm. And now they battle for supremacy. But Jay Rich goes to the rope and hits a low blow behind the referee's back. And one has to wonder if he hits that big money slam, but Jay Rich says one more, and this is for the people in Santino as he hits yet another dirty money slam, and he hooks the leg, and that is it. Jay Rich leaves with the gear, leaves with the win. And your winner, didn't leave with the dub, but Manny did leave with the respect of the Santino Brothers fans here. Folks, let's give another big round of applause for all the action we've seen so far tonight. But I said so far, didn't say all night. That means we have even more for you. The biggest night so far of Santino Brothers up all night. And we keep it going with another barn burner for you, ladies and gentlemen. The following match is scheduled for one fall. Accompanied to the ring by Lex Ford. He comes to us straight from the wrestling mat, standing at 5'7" and weighing in at 170 pounds. He is the king of the takedown, Alonzo Alvarez. And his opponents. He comes to us from the town of Halloween, weighing in at 13 black cats and standing 6 feet under. She is the Pumpkin Queen, Sage Sin.
Pumpkin Queen, Pumpkin Queen, Pumpkin Queen, Pumpkin Queen,
The Santino Brothers faithful cheering along the Pumpkin Queen right off the bat as Alonzo taking shots at the face paint of Sage Sin. As Lex Ford on the outside antagonizing, and you gotta wonder if this is a smart move, antagonizing someone as dangerous as the Pumpkin Queen.
Let's go Sage.
This is
Sage. Let's go Sage. Let's go Sage. Let's go Sage. Let's go Sage.
And folks, you can keep your Game of Thrones. This is the royalty battle I want to see. The King of the Takedown versus the Pumpkin Queen as they square off in the ring. And are they going to lock up? Here it is. Alonzo already playing the mind games.
What is that? Oh, that was rude. Spit on me.
As the Pumpkin Queen spits in the face of Alonso Alvarez heading out to the ringside. Alonso trying to get some advice from Lex Ford, a man who's put together a lot of wins with his clients. Is Alonso rear waist lock, looking to take things to the mat and take advantage of that superior wrestling skill he has. But Sage Sin has been around.
Get her up. She put her paint on my face.
As Alonso looking to go to the ref, hoping that the ref will help him out here, using the ropes to try to get some reprieve from the attack before it even really starts here. Sage Sin not wanting to be taken lightly, goes straight for that headlock and shows that as much as Sage tries to hold on to Alonso, Alonso finds a way to get to the ropes to break things up. And you have to wonder if maybe Alonso is getting a little worried here about what Sage Sin might be able to do here in the ring against him. But now he, tit for tat, goes for a headlock of his own. But unlike Alonso Alvarez, Sage Sin fights through, gets the reversal, puts the headlock of her own, and takes him down to the mat. Now, if he is the king of the takedown, this is the kingdom of Alonso. Sage Sin is invading the Pumpkin Queen. Going for that armbar, keeping him away from that safety of the ropes. Working the arm, driving him face first and pulling back the fingers. Pulling back the hand, biting at the fingers. And right about now, Alonso has to be wondering if maybe he poked the wrong bear, because the Pumpkin Queen is ready to fight, claw, bite, and kill in this match against the king of the takedown. Now Alonso grabbing the fingers, and say what you will about biting the fingers. If you're someone like Alonso who uses those wrestling skills, if your fingers don't work, a lot of that offense is no longer going to be effective. But Alonso reverses the waistlock, gets behind Sage Sin, and now Sage Sin backs him up into the corner. She throws in the elbow, Irish whip across the ring. Alonso goes back first into the turnbuckle. And Sage hits that big running splash and sends him running again. Falling down, collapsing to his knees. Sage Sin pushing him back up, driving her hands into the throat and the jaw, and Alonso just seems to be knocked silly. If Alonso didn't know he was in a fight with a veteran, he does now, as he grabs the referee and Lex Ford on the outside. Lex Ford on the outside. We're trying to get a fair fight. We're trying to see some real winners here, but Alonso using every advantage he can get as he locks the arm around the rope. And just as Sage Sin used her teeth to get an advantage on the fingers, Alonso now using the rope to take out that shoulder, driving the knee into Sage Sin's shoulder. And this may be causing some pretty big problems. And right now, Alonso Alvarez mocking the damage he's doing to the arm. And Sage Sin right about now slumped in the corner as Alonso Alvarez mocks and keeps working that arm. And folks, I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how long you've been in the ring. If you have your wing clipped, you're in trouble against a mat technician like Alonso Alvarez. But no matter what's been done to the arm, Sage Sin still has the fight of a champion, kicking out at one. But it just leads to Alonso driving that elbow, driving those arms into the shoulder, driving that knee into the shoulder, as Lex Ford on the outside mocks and antagonizes and teases, makes his presence known. And now, Sage Sin getting the foot up, locking it in, bringing him over to the tarantula leg hold, And these ropes becoming quite a difference maker in this match. And the fans love the Pumpkin Queen. But will their admiration be enough going back to that arm? And I have to imagine that the tendons and the ligaments and the bone are starting to wear as Alonzo continues to stomp away on that arm. And I don't care who you are or how tough you are. The human body is made of flesh and bone, and that arm has to be giving out. That arm has to be getting weak. As Alonzo high fives Lex Ford on the outside. But feeling the power of the Santino brothers. Sage fights back, claws back, the arm again. But she will not be denied. Sage Sin fighting back from the darkest pits of hell as she fights back against Alonzo to reclaim her land of the Pumpkin Queen. The king of the takedown just driving that knee right into the midsection. Again, pillar to post, and this ring just doesn't seem to be big enough for these two. But Sage Sin thinking quick, going over, and hits a pumpkin smasher into the middle of the turnbuckle. Trick or treat, she screams, and Alonzo tries to get out of the way, but he's just not fast enough. And it's quite the trick for Alonzo, but quite the treat for the people of Santino brothers. But it wasn't quite enough as Alonzo now calling to Lex Ford as Lex Ford gives him that bling. But the bling taken away by Scarlett. Scarlett wants a fair fight, and so do the people of the Santino brothers as she reprimands Lex Ford. But Lex Ford still finding a way to be involved. That cocky Lex Ford getting his grubby little fingers into this match, cheering along as Alonzo still working that arm, giving some words to the people at ringside, bringing that knee all the way up and then all the way down. And as he goes for the pin, Alonzo driving his hand into the face of Sage Sin. But the people standing beside Sage, cheering for her as she fights against not one but two people. As Alonzo whips, reversal, grabs, Northern Lights suplex on the mat. Technician Sage going against the ropes again. Hits another pumpkin smasher. And we get another treat, pumpkin smasher to the face of the mat technician. She goes for the pin. And Alonzo, say you want about his methods, say what you want about the way he conducts business, but the man is fighting back against some big moves with another arm takedown, wrenching the arm again. And right about now, Sage has to be thinking long term. Sage has to be thinking about more than the match. She has to be wondering right now if maybe it's better to live to fight another day. As Alonzo going down to ringside, and every seat at Santino Brothers is a front row seat. As he goes for the chair. No, not like this. Alonzo doesn't need to do this. He opens up the chair. No, not like this. Not against Sage Sin. This is reprehensible. I can't believe this. Scarlett saving the career of Sage Sin. But this time Sage Sin, Lex Ford going against his own man. She goes. As Sage Sin almost gets the win there. But now she rolls him up. She hooks the legs. Could this be it? And Sage Sin with the win. Sage Sin with the win. Sage Sin with the win. And your winner, with the winner, Sage Sin. You didn't beat just one person, you beat two people in a lot of ways. And you took a lot of damage on that arm, but I gotta ask you, as what everyone else is thinking after a couple of wins, what is next for the Pumpkin Queen?
Am I supposed to be scared of any of these challengers? No! They will learn to fear the Pumpkin Queen.
Fear the queen! Fear the queen! Fear the queen!
You heard it here, folks. Sage Sin, whether or not she's double teamed or whether or not she's one-on-one, she is here for wins. She's not scared of anybody. Let's give another round of applause to Sage Sin. Now, folks, we keep this party rolling on as we continue with our next match of the evening, which is scheduled for one fall.
One fall!
And he comes to us from parts unknown. Standing 6'3", 180 pounds. He is the man they call Artorias. And his opponent. Coming to us from the Galapagos Island, weighing in at exactly 286,413.622 kilograms. He is the punk rock Poindexter, Darwin Manny. Ladies and gentlemen, back at ringside, I'm joined here by the Birdman. How you doing?
Doing great, Jack. Very happy to be here. Ready for some action up all night. Hoping to provide an eagle-eye commentary for you here.
Well, we're going to need your sharp eye. Now, Artorias already competed tonight, and I don't know if that's the smartest move, especially when he's going against a man as smart as the punk rock Poindexter, Darwin Finch.
No, you're absolutely right, Jack. A man as smart, also a man as experienced as Darwin Finch. Artorias, newer to the Santino brothers wrestling scene. We'll see if he'll be able to keep up with a fresh Darwin, fresh in mind and in body.
Right now, Darwin seems to be sensitive to the fact that right now Artorias has a flat tire, so to speak, with that knee, but you got to think, when you're against a guy this tough, it's not smart to be to hold back.
No, not at all. What Artorias has got to do, he's got to use his power. He's got to use what little size advantage he has and just try and cut Darwin down super early. I mean, Artorias is known for his mean streak. He's got to be as mean as possible. He's got to bully Darwin and get this match over with quick, otherwise he's in deep trouble.
Now, Darwin, again, one of the smartest wrestlers in the game, putting Artorias into a headlock here and really slowing things down. I think it's a smart move, especially with Artorias coming after a big match. He's got to be worn down already. But Artorias, not to be denied, picks up Darwin and slams him down before trying to find some cover in the corner.
Yeah, but Artorias has got to be careful. He needs his legs to do those power moves, and we already know he's got one flat tire, like you said. If he keeps doing that, he's going to wear himself out, and all Darwin's going to have to do is pick the bones.
So Artorias getting behind, wrenching the arm of Darwin as Darwin tries to fight out of it, reverses into a headlock with a snap near takedown, bringing down Artorias as Darwin Finch with an unorthodox spin, but Of course, Darwin studying everything, everywhere, knows all the wrestling moves, and that one was one that I don't think a lot of us were ready for.
Darwin has an incredibly high ring IQ and normal IQ, and as you can see, he knows every pin, almost every counter, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Artorias has got to use his girth, he's got to use his strikes to try and cut Darwin down early.
As Darwin screams out into the night, I know he's smart, but those chops have to smart to the chest. As Darwin, again, going for that headlock, and I think this is just a great move to really slow down the big man, but Artorias goes for a drop kick, and it doesn't pay off.
This is what I was talking about, Jack, with just the ring IQ.
Yeah, that Le Maestro cradle, 1, 2. Almost got him there, and Darwin going for the quick win here. Off the ropes, springboard, as he goes for yet another pin. Headlock there too, by the way.
Artorias has got to know that Darwin's going to out-wrestle him. Darwin's got more mad IQ, he's got more experience, he's smoother. He's going to beat him if this goes the distance. Artorias needs to use his power or he's going to get played with. Darwin's playing with his food right now.
To your point, if I'm Artorias, I'm thinking, how's the fastest way I can win? He's not going to win the endurance game at this point. And as we said, with his leg down, the power's not quite there, though, by the sound of those chops. Maybe it still is.
Jack, I can tell you firsthand, those chops, they hurt. They will debilitate you. They could stop your heart if you hit one hard enough.
As it looks like Darwin's going for the Texas Instruments cloverleaf here, but not quite enough. The long arms of Artorias gets to the rope, and it looks like Darwin's done playing games. Darwin's going for that knee, and Darwin's going for the win.
He should. It's a clear weakness. He should use his brain and exploit it, or Artorias is going to use his power and beat him down, just like he's doing now. Darwin cannot give him an inch. Darwin should not lose this match, bottom line.
It looks like Artorias going for the snap mirror takedown. It goes for the kick, and you could see Artorias hesitate a little bit there before he goes to kick the back of Darwin Finch.
Even when he's kicking with his good leg, he's still basing on his bad leg. He's still doing damage to himself. Artorias really needs to wrestle a smarter match.
Artorias going into the turnbuckle as they trade blows on the outside, and Darwin takes a throat shot from the rope as he's left laying prone in between the ropes here. And Artorias, he just smells blood in the water as he picks up Darwin, turns him upside down, and drops him back first over his knee. And for as much as that must have hurt Artorias, it had to hurt Darwin as he goes for the pin, but not enough.
As JBL always says, it's not pretty, but it's effective. This is the mean streak that Artorias needs. He needs to tap in deep. He needs to be the bully that he knows he can be. He needs to use every trick in the book, use the ropes, get the upper hand on Darwin because he won't be able to go the distance. This is exactly what Artorias needs to do to secure his second win of the night and prove himself on this stage.
As Darwin finds himself in a bad spot as Artorias pulls back that rope, not only wrenching the back, but choking.
He's smart to use the entire 5 count. He's got 5. He might as well use it. Those ropes are there for a reason. He needs all the help he can get.
Now, if Artorias is able to pull out 2 wins in one night, what does that mean for him here at Santino Brothers?
It would be monumental. 2 wins in the same up all night, that would put him squarely in the win column.
As Darwin goes again for that Texas Instruments cloverleaf, this time in the middle of the rope, and Artorias is in trouble, so he claws the eyes, and it's not legal, but it gets him out of the spot that I think would have been a no-doubt end of the match if Darwin was able to lock in that Texas cloverleaf.
Look, Jack, the fact of the matter is if Artorias wins 2 matches tonight, he's going to make a name for himself. He's going to make a statement as not just a newcomer on the scene, but a newcomer who's an actual threat to the Santino Brothers roster, who might be a threat to the titles. And as we continue to have shows and start to get back to our regular wrestling schedule, Artorias, he has a chance to take the spot of many people that have not been able to continue.
Massive suplex as Artorias begging for the count to start as quickly as possible, and I think it sounds like maybe he even understands that if he doesn't get a win soon, it's going to become a big issue for him, and it might have some long-term damage to that knee as we get a jawbreaker from Darwin Finch, whipping Artorias off the ropes, but no reversal. Goes for the headlock, goes for the guillotine choke, and he brings down Darwin Finch in the middle of the ring, and now it's Darwin who might be worried about tapping.
This is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to ground him. He needs to choke him out. If he gets frustrated and takes more time, he can't give Darwin an inch.
That's one.
Whoa.
This is two.
I think he's choking him out, Jack. I think
this
he's
has got to be it. He's out. This is an overmatch. But no, Darwin. Darwin finds a way. He finds a way to bring that heart, to bring that fight. And this is what Darwin is known for, more so than even the brains, just that can't quit attitude as Darwin drives down the knees with a double knee buster. And ladies and gentlemen, that might be it for the Mysterious Wanderer, as Darwin now has a chance to regroup. And
yes, but Jack, Darwin's got to capitalize right now. He's got Artorias on the ropes for the first time in this match consistently. But as you see, Artorias is getting up first. Darwin really needs to take this opportunity. He might not get another one.
Artorias swinging those punches, bringing those knife-edge chops, those elbows to the face.
Told you, it took too much time.
As Artorias hits that devastating pump kick, bad knee or no, driving Darwin down into the corner.
Yeah, but you see now what Artorias is doing. He's showing his inexperience. He's gloating to the crowd. He's taking too much time. He's giving Darwin a chance to do that.
Darwin with the fight.
Stupid
just
wrestling by Artorias.
leveled Artorias, sent him down to the mat, and with some chops of his own, reddening the broad chest of the big man. Darwin across the ring, but Artorias still fast enough to get out of the way and hits him just with a giant elbow to the face. Oh, goes for the pump kick again, but this time not quick enough. A dragon screw leg whip, and that might have taken the knee right out of the socket.
Right to the bad knee, too.
As
He knows to work that leg. He could be setting up for a submission. There it is.
Oh, with a
quantum entanglement by Darwin.
Quantum entanglement here. As you're right, right now we've got Artorias trying to get to that rope, and it's not there, but there he is. And right now, Artorias has to be thanking whatever Dark Lord he worships that he was able to make it to that bottom rope.
Artorias digging down deep, using his young veteran brain, his ring awareness to find the rope, because that would have been it. He knows he is on borrowed time with that knee. And if Darwin can lock that in again, I think it is lights out for Artorias.
Artorias, surprising speed, hits a massive German suplex as now Artorias is down. And this time that would have been a pump kick, I think, but Artorias knew he had to go for that European
I gotta say,
elbow.
Jack, I am very impressed with Artorias' resilience throughout this whole match. He looked like he was on wobbly legs to begin with, but he has absolutely shown some serious resilience through this entire thing. Very impressive.
The Santino brothers family at ringside getting behind both these warriors as it's science versus magic here. Right now we've got Artorias going for the kill with that big boot as Darwin will not be denied, will not go down. Gets him into a full Nelson, quick turn, spinning back fist, wobbles the man, goes up, and we've got a neutron bomb set up into the Texas Instruments cloverleaf. Can he get him over? He does.
He's got it locked in.
He's wrenching it, and there's nowhere to go. He's right in the middle, and the big man taps.
Artorias
That's
taps immediately.
And your winner, Darwin!
Great showing for Artorias, who is already on the weak leg. But an excellent win. An excellent win for Darwin Finch. Once again, proving why he is a staple wrestler for the Santino brothers. He's trained, using his brawn. Solid win. But we got to give credit where credit is due. Artorias showed grit tonight. He showed absolute grit. He wrestled 2 great matches, got 1 win.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of applause for 2 amazing warriors that just went at it. But folks, this is the moment we've all waited for. This is what we stayed up all night for. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening. And it's scheduled for one fall. Into the ring by Lex Ford. She's coming to us from Venice Beach, California. Weighing in at none of your business. She is the magnetic Milo. And her opponent. Making his way to us from Buena Park, California. He weighs 185 pounds and stands 5'8" tall. He is the man they call El Primo Henry Tribeca. Folks, this is what we came for. This is what it's all about. It is time for the main event of the evening. And have we got one for you? It's Mac Daddy Milo going up against El Primo Henry Tribeca. And this is going to be one for the ages.
Absolutely. It is Suave versus Sass.
So we got Primo making sure to take his time as Scarlett removes the jacket.
Here's what's interesting about these two competitors. They both have a ton of confidence. They both have a ton of swagger. It's going to be interesting to see who can out-wrestle the other one, who can out-sass the other one, who's got more attitude, who's got more fight in them. I'm willing to bet that Milo's got a little bit more fight in them.
That's a bold claim, especially this early on. I know one guy that doesn't seem to find himself short of confidence is Primo, but it's the people behind Milo's. Milo maybe letting it get to her a little too early.
Milo's got the backing of the fans. Primo, on the other hand, as you can see, cocky, trying to get the fans behind him. Not gonna happen. Primo's had a complete change of attitude as of late, if you haven't noticed. Primo used to be this brooding, odd duck type. He completely had a change of tone when he discovered that he had a chiseled jaw and pectorals worth showing off. So we'll see if that translates to mat prowess tonight.
You can say what you want about the attitude of Primo, but you got to admit he's been hitting the gym, he's been adding on some of that muscle, he's been getting stronger, and he is not to be taken lightly, whether you like him or not.
Both Primo and Milo in excellent shape. They came to fight. They look ready to fight.
Now,
ready to beat the ever-loving snot out of each other in this main event. I'm ready to see an actual fight.
Now, Primo getting the early advantage, sending Milo down, but Milo not one to be deterred. Doesn't seem to have lost any of her confidence. Doesn't seem to have lost a skip in her step as they lock up.
No, not at all, Jack. I'll be interested to see if they get too lost in the theatrics or if they actually focus on winning the match.
Hey, come on, watch that hair. Let's keep it in the center of the ring.
As Primo goes for the blue hair of Milo, the trademark of Milo. And Milo, doesn't seem to be too shocked that Primo's already going for some dirty moves. Now, come on, going for the handshake. We know this is no good.
It's great strategy, though. If he can sucker her in, you can't say that's a bad idea.
It's a left-handed handshake. Kiss of the hand. Who does he think he is? He's not going to romance someone like Milo in the middle of the match.
Absolutely not. Milo, in fact, took the advantage there. So if anything, Milo outsmarted him.
as Milo goes to the ropes, flips over, reverses the armbar, and now it's El Primo on his knee. Using that strength and just going for a punch right to the midsection before driving the knee right into Milo. And now Primo jawing up Lex Ford, and Lex Ford.
I mean, it goes without saying that Primo has the size advantage, and that definitely matters in a wrestling match like this. But Milo, if she continues to out-technique him with these beautiful arm drags, she's gonna be able to cut down the size advantage real quick with these leverage moves.
I don't want to go to cliches, but it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog, and no one has more fight in them than Mighty Mac Daddy Milo, even though she finds herself in the corner right now.
Milo can go the distance, though. Like you said, she's got an excellent gas tank. She's got grit. She's got tenacity. She's got pugnaciousness.
As using the speed, Milo with the monkey flip onto Primo, sends him to the middle of the mat, and now she's the one pointing the finger off the ropes with a sliding clothesline, taking Primo down, hooking the legs. And Primo going to the outside to catch a break.
Yeah, Primo realizes he's not going to be able to out-wrestle Milo, but maybe he can out-tire her, maybe he can out-think her. But if he lets the crowd get in his head, it's going to be an easy feast for Milo.
As Milo goes with a suicide dive through the ropes, but Primo catches her and slams her onto the ring apron. You know, they say that's the hardest part of the ring.
It's the hardest part of the ring. It's the hardest part of the apron. Milo taking a chance too early in the match. Primo, if he just continues to outpower her, I think this match actually could go in Primo's favor pretty quickly. And now Primo just using his attitude.
Lex Ford finds himself in danger as Milo comes to Lex Ford's aid. Usually it's Lex Ford coming to the wrestler's aid. That was a fun turn of the tables, but Milo taking it to Primo, and Primo realizing that all of his game plans are not working. Milo screams as she dives for the tope. This time it connects, sending Primo down to the mat, down to the outside. And once again, as we say at Santino Brothers, every seat is a front row seat.
That's right, Jack. Milo taking a chance. First time didn't work out, second time did. That's the pugnaciousness I was talking about. Milo will go back to the well as many times as it takes to get Primo off his feet, to get him on the ropes. Primo a little too focused on his looks, a little too focused on getting the crowd behind him, which clearly is not going to happen. All Milo has to do is stay in this, stay pugnacious, and avoid stuff like this, these dirty tactics from Primo.
It doesn't matter how much fight you have or how talented you are. When someone shoves their thumb in your eye, it's all equal. As Primo locks in a dragon sleep before driving his knee into the back of the Mac Daddy.
It just takes one shot, Jack. If Primo's able to drive his knee right into her head enough times, she's not going to be able to continue.
Again, a devastating backbreaker, and right now the back of Milo needs to just be aching. Working over that midsection, going for the pin.
But Primo right now, I'm continuing to work on that back. I'm splitting her in half as best as I can. You take out that spine, you can't breathe, you can't stand up.
Milo fighting back. Again, the fight in her that we talked about, but the size advantage is just too much as Primo goes to rain down some fists, but Scarlett stops him. Milo's still trying to fight out of it, but finds herself getting put right into a camel clutch. And this might be too much.
Not only does Primo have the size advantage, when he has leverage like that, it's almost like his weight doubles. It's almost like the shock loads of gravity contribute, and so Milo's feeling twice as much force as she normally would in a regular hold.
As he drives the knuckles into the back, into the spine, pulling back in that deathlock move. Twisting and bending and just almost breaking her in half, to your point. But now Milo trying to get to the ropes. And Lex Ford, if you're Lex Ford, what are you telling Milo right now? What advice are you giving her to try to help her in this situation?
I mean, the best thing that Lex Ford can do is just continue to keep Milo focused, to keep her present, to keep her aware. The last thing that Milo wants to do is lose oxygen and then lose focus. Lex has got to keep her focused and keep her present in this match.
Right now, double underhook, and again a gut buster across the knee, right in the middle of the ring. And whether it's the back or the gut, it's just being worked over again and again by Primo. He likes to think about how he looks, but he definitely has a strategy here, and it seems to be executed to perfection as he kicks the back again.
No, you're absolutely right, Jack. Primo's game plan has been rock solid this entire time. Work over the midsection, continue to keep leverage. Quick 2 count there. Use his size advantage, beat Milo down, cut off the oxygen supply, get her thinking about catching her breath instead of thinking about winning the match.
Right now, as Primo just has to lift up the almost dead weight, and gadzooks, the force of that throw into the turnbuckle sends her down to the mat.
That is quite the comic book explanation, Jack. You certainly have the vernacular for the action. I won't deny you that, but this is just a straight up mugging right now by Primo. Just smash mouth. Again, the elbow to the midsection.
At this point, I have to be wondering if there's been damage to the ribs or the spine as he hooks in that dragon sleeper. Goes for the throat cut with a crossroads roll the dice type maneuver, and Milo is out. Milo is out. This is academic. No!
Wow.
No!
Milo staying in this.
Milo, not to be denied, will not let this opportunity at a main event win at Santino Brothers slip through her fingers. But she needs to find a way to level the playing field.
She absolutely does. If Milo can find a way to pull this off, that would be a huge win for Milo, who's trying to string some wins together. But the fact of the matter is that Primo has got her on the ropes. Primo has got Milo sucking wind right now with all those shots to the gut. Milo's got to be careful and conserve energy here as she unloads.
As she is just shoved down. Lex Ford getting a little bit more than he bargained for, really earning that manager's check as he's got the hand of Primo wrapped around his throat, but Lex Ford not to be pushed around. As Milo, this is the moment. She fires up. She goes for a drop kick, and Primo's in the corner. And now fighting back with everything she has, everything she's got, all the heart, as she goes for that Big Mac Bulldog, driving the face of Primo into the mat. She hooks the legs.
Great transition by Milo right there. That's great. She didn't take any wasted motion, just right into the crossface. This is the best chance Milo's got to win the entire match. She's got to wrench this back. She's got to use all of her pugnaciousness, all of her fire right now. This is her chance.
It. They are in the middle of the ring. The ropes are miles away. As she pulls back, she needs to pull back with everything he has. But Primo clawing and crawling, and he finds a way to get to that bottom rope, and Milo is just devastated.
Jack, this is exactly what I was talking about. Even when he's on bottom, the size differential between Primo and Milo is so much so that Primo can literally just muscle Milo to the ropes. And Milo, who's still probably sucking wind from all of those gut shots, just doesn't necessarily have the capacity that Primo has at this point in the match.
She looked like she was about to hit that Mac attack, but it wasn't enough as Primo scouted it, drives her into the corner, and again, works that midsection. And I don't know how much more that back can take. Driving it into an elbow before looking for some kind of power bomb into the ring. It shook the entire building as he goes for the hook.
It's got to be over.
And that was it. That devastating power bomb.
An excellent main event, Jack, but at the end of the day, the size and power of Primo was truly just too much.
And your winner, El Primo Henyo Rebecca!
A very well-fought match by Milo, but unfortunately not enough to overcome the power and the technique and the strategy of El Primo. Let's hear from El Primo now as we've got Jack in the ring to interview him.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am standing by with your winner of the main event this evening. Primo, you didn't win the love of the people of Santino, brothers, but you got what matters, and that is a win in the main event. Everyone has to be wondering, what's next for El Primo?
For too long, I have been ignored. For too long, I have been questioned if I was main event worthy. Well, if a W doesn't do it, then the ass whooping I just gave Milo does not matter. Proves that I belong in the main event, Jack Farmer. You know why? You know why? Because the best is yet to come. The best of El Primo Henyo Rebecca.
El Primo making it known that the best is yet to come.
You hear me?
And his performance tonight certainly solidified himself as a bona fide Santino's main eventer.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for all the wrestlers, all the production folks, the commentary team, the referees. But ladies and gentlemen, most importantly, let's hear it for all of you. This has been Santino Brothers Tuesday Up All Night. And as we say every single week, we're gonna do it again and again and again. We'll see you next week with more of that pro wrestling action. Folks, until then, let me hear you chant it. Up all night, up all night.